Hello, my gods and goddesses. This is Gwendolyn of the Temple of Venus. I'm your high priestess, the Temple of Venus. Thank you so much for joining me again. And today we're going to talk about transmutation and what that really means and how do we transmute negative emotions into something positive. I believe that the energy field that is around you always picks up on your vibrational frequency. So if you don't change it, you're gonna notice that like everything is going wrong today. That's when those statements come in, when you don't learn how to change your mindset about whatever that is happening that is perceived to be negative. So what you have to do is, first of all, identify the emotion that you feel. I'd even say before all of that, before even identifying emotions that you feel, I would say the first thing that you'd have to do is fall in love with something. I feel like we're not taught to like fall in love with an activity or reading, like something to keep us stabilized. So as you're watching this, don't wait for something negative to happen in your life. Fall in love with, I don't know, painting, fall in love with writing, fall in love with music, something that you use that you can use for like a form of escape. Because if you have these strategies, you're less likely to fall deep into um, this emotional jail that the world can put you in. So, but let's say you haven't figured that out yet, or let's say you're working through that and you're feeling all these emotions, but those emotions are actually telling you information about what you should do next. So let's say you feel anger. That anger that you feel in your body turns into awareness. And that awareness is for you to actually assess what's going on in your life. And is it anger, or is it because you are looking for something that like that person might have, and so you want to see how you're going to get it also. But you don't need to be angry about it. You got to figure out how to get it, because the best revenge is, I think the great philosopher Beyonce said it, the best revenge is your paper. So the first thing you got to do is make sure that you get your paper in order. Hold on, let me make sure that my lashes aren't falling off. That you make sure that you get your money up and your paper in order. So always try to see how you can transmute your negative experiences. Hold on one second. This is gonna off. Sorry. How you can transmute your negative experiences into positive ones. How you can take your sadness and make it into something that brings people joy. And I think a lot of artists actually do this by creating music, by creating poetry, by creating art. Because when you transmute that energy and you put that energy into something else, people will resonate with it. And now you've seen art that you might be like, oh, that art doesn't even look that good, or that song isn't even that great. Like it doesn't have all these, all these things to it, all these razzle dazzle things. And that's because it was transmuted from something negative into something positive. I think of Phil Collins. What's that song by Phil Collins? It was like a very like soft melody, and it's everywhere, but like I feel like he had recently gone through a divorce, and he was talking to his ex-wife about like, I know where you've been, it's all been a pack of lies. But like that song didn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but the energy from that song is so heavy that you felt it. So he transmuted his sadness into something so powerful. And I think a lot of musicians do this, a lot of artists do this. So you have to learn how to transmute that and share it with the world, so that you could see that you're connecting with other people and transmute it. And you can transmute things in a lot of different ways. You could laugh at situations that have happened to you that makes you feel a certain way. Like you could use that to ease the pain so that it doesn't happen again. Laughing at your problem sometimes makes you not take it as seriously, so that you don't have to carry the burden of it, right? And that's what a lot of people actually do so that they can exist in the world. Because sometimes you got to laugh at your pain because you can't sit and cry. So you have to be able to hold yourself up because you have to be able to live and experience this beautiful life that is. Transmuting also is a form of problem solving. You learn that you can solve your own problems and not spiral into negativity. It can give you motivation. You also learn how to reflect and be more aware of yourself. And when you're done, you'll reach a point of mental transmutation, and you'll be able to help others um, transmute their from their issues. Like, let's say your relationship didn't work, you have professional challenges, moments where you question yourself, and a lot of people carry all of this. This is very, very common. You know, asking yourself questions like, why did this happen to me? um it's actually the material for your growth. Like, I know you guys have heard, especially in our culture, we love these like rags to riches story, but I know that you guys have heard so many like negative things when people first started out like in their business. People told them that they were like X, Y, and Z, they were too much, they were too silly, like they worked too hard, they were distant. And then years later they put all that effort and love and energy into themselves, and now they can reap the benefit of their reward. So don't worry about what people are saying or doing. Worry and focus on what you love in life first. And when you have certain emotions that come up, make sure that you're figuring out how to transmute it, how to change it to make your life better. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next video. And as always, it is done. Thank you. Bye.